I'm sure you're wondering why and who's this guy getting VIP treatment? Is he drunk early in the morning? No, that's not the case. So I'm Huzaifa Merchant. I'm 95% blind. And so here with the vision to figure out how we can empower the future of retail are my esteemed panelists who would like to enlighten the path to phygital. And phygital's become quite a buzzword, and it's the holy grail today. How do we use the efficiency of digital technology and combine it or merge it seamlessly into physical space? Why do we need to do this? Because 40% of customers say they want more information, because 30% of customers say they want easier and more seamless checkouts, because people want more personalized information or personalized offers. So, that being said, retail design today has become not only creative but more strategic. And I would want to place this question in the hands of Mr. Puneet and Mr. Gerard in terms of how has retail design now become more strategic? How do we include the top management or the operations into design? How do they envisage that happening?
So the path to becoming phygital is a three-pronged approach. First of them is the tech integration. The second is business alignment or business enablement. The third is people transformation. All three of them equally important. Easiest being the tech integration, right? Getting a single view of your customer, getting a single view of your inventory, getting a singular view of your customer engagement programs. For example, if you have a loyalty program running, we're just talking about this, is it also going to acknowledge the customer and let them redeem their points on the website or on the app as well as at the store at the same time? Or have a universal bag where no matter where you put a product into the bag, it shows no matter which platform you go to. So that's the tech integration part, and frankly that's the easiest thing to do. That's 30% job done. 70% is the other two. Business alignment. Right? So what in business alignment? Companies, brands have to start thinking as one channel, and that channel is the customer. There is no e-commerce, there is no marketplace, there is no store offline, it's just the customer, right? Can I know my customer better irrespective of the platform that they are buying from? For this you need to have the business aligned. Can the marketing start thinking that my spends are not digital spends and offline spends and ATL spends and BTL spends, but they just spends for a customer and therefore across I have to spend? Or let's say you implement your technology in the store and therefore there's a website running in the store or an app running in the store. So does that contribute to digital sales or store sales? If my website is getting fulfilled from the store, does that go to store sales or website sales? You have to stop thinking about all of these things and say, no, it's just the customer, and irrespective of where they are spending, if they are spending with us, that's all that matters. And we take care of how we sort that out. The third part is the people transformation, right? When you are enabled as leaders, then you can go ahead and make those decisions to build experience centers, to build fulfillment capability in stores, to enable people with the technology that is required for them to perform and make it true for a customer at the point where it becomes true. You can do all the digital and everything in the world, but the best you can ever treat a customer is when they are within the four walls of your stores or in your retail places, right? That's why everybody wants to make stores. So just to finish that point off, I think it has to be, the store design will then be enabled with technology, with business enablement, and therefore they will be able to leverage the store, leverage the customer experience, and not manage the store and give some sort of servile customer experience. I think we have to enable our people for that.
Fantastic. How about you, Puneet? How do you see this? And if there is any experience that you could share, that would be fantastic.
Thanks, Huzaifa. So I personally feel that phygital or a combination of digital and physical, a lot depends on the kind of format which you're running. For a grocery retailer, the entire format has to be more inclusive, wherein the customer is aware of where the merchandise is kept. For an apparel retailer, it's all about increasing the experience. So I kind of completely agree that the entire focus has to be more consumer-centric. And we at EY are doing a lot of consulting work with multiple retailers, and a few of the examples what I was trying to share with Josefa was, we have got retailers who wants to run their experience of recognizing their customers before they enter the store, maybe through camera feeds and AI, and then run specific promotions which are lasting for only about 30 minutes while they're there in the store. Can we make the customer redundant in a hypermarket, supermarket format once he enters with his list of products which he needs to buy, and the picking can be done by somebody else, which then increases the impulse in him to buy something else. So those are the areas. Can we have a better checkout? Can we have situations wherein during the weekend and during the sales season, if you're willing to buy only one shirt, you don't have to be 12th in the queue. So those are the areas where most of the retailers today are wanting to go, and that's where the investment is going towards.
Fantastic. So, the trend that we're seeing now, I think, is that stores are starting to work towards, becoming more efficient, more people-centric, and because people have lesser time to spend, I think, and they demand more information. So let's see how Sudhir Sundalchekar and Raymond's. Sudhir tells me that they've aligned their teams really, really well to bring the next level of Raymond's experience. I think he would be the best person to start off, and then Dharmendra has been on that path as well with Universal Sports Biz. Why don't you take the stage, Sudhir?
Yeah, thanks, Josefa. I fully acknowledge and agree with Gerard and Puneet, both of you. The views which are customer-centric, definitely, because if you see, the customers who is coming to your store, 60% of the customers sometimes don't know what they want exactly. 30% of people or the customers, they have seen somewhere else, or either on the omnichannel or somewhere, and they come there to buy something. Only 10% of the people are decision in their mind, having that decision in mind. Yes, I want to buy this only. So the opportunity is not with the 10%, the opportunity is definitely with the 90% of the people who are either confused or they are yet to decide something. The digital way, definitely it helps the customer not only in the off side of the store, but when they come to the store, naturally the staff who are with them or the operation team with them, whether they are aligned with their thoughts, that is also important. Because here what happens, as we in Raymond, what we try to do, we have many things actually, I can list down the initiatives afterwards, but any platform on the digital, if you were to develop something, there are stakeholders, not only the management, not only the operations, a customer, as well as the person who is a salesperson at the store level. He has to be taken in confidence, because finally they are going to sell. The only selling doesn't happen on the your omni-channel platform, but the main people who are going to give that experience to the customer, finally he has to be also aligned. Because we tried few things, naturally, many retailers do that. We tried few things, they failed, no problem, but we learned from that, and what is the next level of digital action we can do, we are adopting that. So when we started the journey, it was to do with the store facades, where we can do the facade digital to just attract the customers. And in Indiranagar, Bangalore, when we did the experiment on the store facade, the entire facade was a digital screen which was there, like a LED curtain, what we say. We started the journey during the week. There are so many customer footfalls, not only in the store but actually on the road also, because there were accidents due to our LED curtain which was there. So that made such a big impact on overall Indiranagar in Bangalore that yes, people wanted to know what's happening inside. When we got a customer inside, there was an entire digital journey which was with them. Like customer was given an iPad in hand, and he is the salesperson just hand over the iPad to him. The customer is looking at the store, not the filled store like our typical stores which are there full filled. It's a one SKU only of the particular design. So he is expected to take the iPad in hand and scan everything. When he selects the merchandise, he can select on the iPad. When he want to try, he can just ask for the trial. He will get a message on the same iPad from our back office. Yes, you can go to trial number 1, 2, 3, there's rooms. When he goes there, before he reaches the trial room, the merchandise is already inside the trial room from backside. So when he tries that and goes out, the experience is like a restaurant what you have. There is no cash counter over there. You have a cup of tea in your lounge and the customer is given you a bill like what you get in the restaurants and the shopping is done. So this is the thing which we tried definitely. It worked out in metros, but it may not have worked out in tier 2 towns. We also tried to reach customers through our online tailoring concept actually. So that you can book an appointment for the tailoring. The person will come to your home instead of you coming to the store, take the measurements. So whatever you want, all the swatches will be shown, and then the customer is taking the entire advantage of not going by a physical store but calling the person over here. Many things I think I should talk about it later also, which is not only a digital one, but how a customer will be touched. There is a touch point, what Josefa always calls it. When you go to the store, there are touch points. So like these touch points not only in the store, but during the experience when he selects something online and then coming to the store for final billing. Yeah.
Fantastic. So basically, I think Raymond's initiatives are moving towards personalization and towards making it more informative through the journey. How about you, Dharmendra? How is Universal Sports moving in that direction now?
So in Universal Sports we have all youth brands which will guide a consumer to go to run through the e-catalog, to run through the different kinds of products and what consumer wants. So he can browse through or through from our categories what style he is looking, what colors he is looking. So it makes easy for consumers rather than asking a staff to come and explain him. So we have tried a cashierless kiosk as well in our few flagship stores and a few malls where we have got a good feedback from the consumers. Like there is a kiosk where you can have a couple of garments, like maximum garments is 5 in that. So you take a garment, go to that kiosk, through the RFIDs they scan the garment code and it shows on the screen if the size you're looking for a different size of the same product. It will take you to our website and that will be delivered to your home. So we have all that different categories and different kind of payment methods in that kiosk as well. If you're taking the same garment, the RFIDs will be scanned and you will have a carry bag coming out of the machine and you can do the payment right there and you can take that couple of garments with you. And if you don't find that size or a kind of style you're looking at, you can go in that screen, it takes to your website, it takes to our website and the same thing will be delivered to at your place. So that all facilities we have tried up and it's really giving a good profitability impact to our company.
Fantastic. So we're talking about seamless checkouts, we're talking about cataloging and all of that at these stores. So my experience personally on this front has been that we created systems where all these experiences can be integrated into a space where people spend a lot of their time. In fact, some research shows even 70% of the time. That's at the rack where you can integrate all of this. I want to put this up to Puneet and Vinay. So if a consumer can, say, get product comparisons or get product information or even cross-selling opportunities right there at the rack where they're shopping. Puneet, this question comes to you first. I mean, do you think that should increase the throughput efficiency of the store?
Well, it's all about combining the information in the right manner. You know, again, we are running a prototype with a grocery merchant wherein the conversation started from recipe. All right. So, you know, if you're wanting to make a butter chicken, for instance, what is that you would require? And then you're making a consumer walk into a store, you're selecting the location of that store, it gives you a design of how that store is made, and then it allows the customer to walk through different aisles and say this is where your merchandise is kept. It collates everything together and you can run a complete seamless checkout while you are on your mobile itself. At the same point in time, if you are not having the merchandise which is available in store, it is giving you alternates while you are there at the store, so that the consumer can still be able to make that recipe and have a good experience around it. Now, if you try to combine a lot of these things, it's all about information which is to be made available at the right time and the right place. So it's all about content, it's all about making the experience more seamless for the consumer and making sure that he's going out happy. Is there a better way of fulfilling that? I mean, if there's something which is not there by the time the consumer reaches home, is there a way we can fulfill that experience for the customer before the consumer reaches home? Is what the entire conversation is moving towards now.
So in this particular case, we were talking about a customer in store. How important is it for them to compare two products? Let's go more fashion because our panelists are more fashion driven. So if we're looking at fashion as a segment, how important is it to get product information? What product will go well with what, and how does that sync together? So how important is something like that in a place where people actually spend their time looking at the product?
So suggestive sales goes everywhere. I mean, I think it has to happen that way. It has to be linked to a category. If you're talking about a trouser, what goes best with that trouser? If you're talking about a shirt, what cufflinks can go best with it? It's all about you getting design and getting input. So again, we work with retailers wherein we are making dress designers talk about what should be bought and what will look nice on a specific customer, on a specific body type, and basis that a consumer can take a decision. Now, it may not be specifically for that consumer, but then the interest levels are defining body types in different ways and then allowing the consumer to know that for an X body type, for an X body, for the X dimensions which you carry, what kind of products would work well with you. And if those are the kind of information which are made available in the store, the decision making for a consumer obviously increases.
Fantastic. Vinay, how about you? I mean, your entire business is cross-referencing and cross-selling. So how do you see that as an in-store experience within the retail space itself, the rack, the trial room, and those touch points as Sudhir just mentioned?
See, the future itself is completely all about digital stores. Okay, and the experience and the thinking customer first, as you all agreed by it. The customer first is the main thing. Okay, why we need to understand why customer is doing shopping. Most of the customers do shopping only because of certain kind of an occasions or something either for gifting for someone they love. So when they come to the store, for example, if they go to Raymond, okay, in the digital kiosk, if they see the kind of patterns, the kind of designs. Okay, once it tells that, okay, it will give the collaborative approach. Okay, if you want to have a jewelry, the men's jewelry, okay, it will take you into the jewelry pattern. How does the jewelry looks along this kind of an apparel? What kind of shoes or what kind of watches make sense for that kind of an apparel? So, when, for example, if any kind of a bridal customer is coming or with a wedding planner to make it much more experiential, he tells that, okay, in this digital kiosk, okay, the entire shopping is done for you, maintaining the same kind of an experience. They come there, they select it, and then with the cross collaboration with various brands, it makes it much more impactful for the phygital stores by default.
Fantastic. How about Sudhir and Dharmendra? How do you guys see how important is the location of the information where it's provided within the store? So the question is, how important is the location of the information and right place at the right time? Is that important when looking at a shopper's journey in stores, Sudhir?
Okay. I would like to say something interesting on this. Location definitely does matter. And taking the point from you, we have done something different and for because not to follow the customer, but to make the customer not only make aware but design its own fashion. So what we have done, rather than just putting an advisory, we have given a kiosk to the customer, which is called a DIY, design it yourself. Now, if suppose for me, the 40 size shirt fits, I know the 32 size is for my trouser, or maybe the jacket is a 92 or something. So I know my sizes, I don't want to experiment on the tailoring, but I want to have something ready-made. Okay, the comparison, as Josefa what you are asking, is as a rate comparison. Maybe the shirts are there, of that 40 size, at 1200 rupees or whatever, but I don't like the buttons. Maybe I don't like the collar styling, maybe I don't like the pocket style. We made a kiosk over there, design on your own if you want. So you take the sizes, you select the pocket pattern, you select the collar pattern, you select the tucks, you select the cuffs and everything, buttons, any color to that. So there is a screen which is there, it prompts you and it asks you the question, okay, where this combination suits you, or what do you think about it? So it's the interactive kiosk which is created. Finally, you are shown also whatever you selected, okay, this is the thing, how you are going to look after you wear this. The order is placed there and the merchandise comes to you after it. It's like that. So the person will go through that kiosk actually on the screen and he will select a swatch. So darker pink or more than that, maybe a white button on a pink shirt or maybe pink button on a pink. So everything is there on the screen and that's how we created an experience for the customer to design for himself. Okay, so when it's advisory, I understand. But there is no interest which is also created for that.
Fantastic. How about you, Dharmendra? Where do you see this?
So I would like to give an example for one of a wrong store at Connaught Place, Delhi, where we used digital elements a lot. Like it was like my 20% of the store cost was for digital, because I knew the customers what I'm getting inside the store over there, it's going to love it. So basically, Connaught Place architecture was the inspiration for us. And that's how we took it inside to the store to have the same feel with our brand colors. So we have installed a few digital screens which doesn't show the product, because it's a huge store, like it has a massive height around 18-20 feet. So we have installed digital screens on the wall above the wall fixtures which shows the architecture. So it gives you feel of the Roman and the Greek architecture, which is like how the Roman architecture was and how it was built. We have used few sculptures inside the store. So it's more like an experience store rather than focusing more on the product, because that is the experience what consumer won't get it everywhere. So we wanted to be a little unique on that case, and taking a digital concept into a deeper for our product, we have placed an iPads, which again plays an important role for a consumer, giving them the knowledge of the product as well as for a easy shopping basically.
Jerry, I think we'll move on from this question after getting your view.
Sure. The thing that we're talking about here is cataloging, right? For us to be able to make recommendations, you have to take pictures of those products. Then Chris's product will give them feedback. But without a picture, how are we going to be able to do that, right? What percentage do you think of products do people actually catalog? A brand, you must have brands here. What percentage of your total offering do you think you catalog? The main question here is cost. Cost of cataloging, cost of Chris's stuff to give us feedback, the cost of the iPads. They are not cheap, right? We were here with an American major, but you can only do all of this, Josefa bhai, in a smaller environment. When you go to a larger store, you can't expect everybody to take out their phones and interact with you. You don't expect everyone to bring tabs and give it to you. So what do you want to do? So you have to put it on the fixture itself, right? In the planogram level. If you want to tell me something about Saffola's oats, tell me where Saffola's oats are kept. Don't tell me near the cash counter. Don't tell me on my home television. Tell me here. If there's something about Levi's jeans that you want to tell me when I'm looking at Justin Timberlake's jeans which he wore in the ad. Tell me right there in a video, right? That's what would inspire me. If I have Chris's feedback, tell me that digitally, right? Tell me that on any platform. Cost is the main factor. Retailers are not being very smart about the cost. If you had cataloging, for example, if you shared that revenue of cataloging, or the cost of cataloging between store, digital and marketplace. Now you can afford cataloging for much bigger amount of your catalogs, and you have more catalog percentage, so you can recommend better, recommend more, and sell more, right? Ultimately, from a brand perspective. Now, let's say for the devices, iPads are expensive. Other tablets are expensive, but we are talking to retailers, and retailers are willing to play ball. They're like, yes, we want to put tablets and phones into the hands of every single person. So they are in talks with us saying that we'll just lease it to them for dirt cheap price. Was just talking to Sudhir a little earlier. 3,500 rupees is still what we are spending per square foot to make a flagship store. The same has been for the last 6-7 years. How are you going to digitize a store with the same kind of capex? How will you add that element with the same capex? By leasing the products. If you are a smart retailer, these companies are willing to come to you, put those expensive tablets for your customers, give them to your staff at a dirt cheap lease. So if the cost of experimentation or the cost of rollout, they are true partners with you in terms of technology. Why aren't we leveraging that? We should leverage that.
Fantastic. So, I think to summarize what we've discussed today, I think we're looking at the path to phygital being trodden with quite a few experiments, which are looking at personalization, which are looking at, I think, even optimization of the operations, which are looking at seamless checkouts. I think one of the challenges that did come up, I think, in this conversation with Jerry is, yes, you need to optimize the cost because the return on investment needs also to be taken into consideration. So how do you optimize the cost of a digital rollout? With the limited time that we had on hand, I think we've come to a simple conclusion that we should be able to tread the path to phygital with some conservativeness and maybe a little out of the box thinking. Don't you think so? Right? Thank you guys, that's been our time, and we thank you for listening to us, and we're open for feedback and open for questions.